Hey gang, welcome to Chef Cutting's Kitchen here. I want to talk with you about something that's really close to my heart, and that's of course eating healthy. I've got some great recipes for you today. These recipes are really good for those of you who want to make batch diets. You can make these ingredients in one day, put them in your refrigerator. They can last up to 7 days, and even pre-made products that you're going to learn today about salads and wraps, you can keep those in the fridge for up to 5 days. 3 days is max for me, but 5 days, if you got a really busy work week, you can really make that work. So let's get in my kitchen, let's learn how to do the salad and wrap prep, and more importantly, let's eat healthy. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. I'm going to show you how to make the prep to make two separate items, and it's very simple. Here we go. The first thing you got is your spinach. Now I want you to grab at least a whole bag of spinach and do this, because you can really make some of these things ahead of time, and they have 2 to 3 days that you can keep in the refrigerator. So I highly suggest you do that. I have some button mushrooms here. These are baby portobellos. Mushrooms are very good for you. They've got a lot of nutrients in them. But I'm going to tell you that the portobello mushrooms have more flavor. They're meatier. So that's why I always choose those. I have a vine-ripe tomato, carrots that I've shredded, feta cheese. And here's an exception to the rule. I usually say green vegetables only, and you don't have anything else. Tomato, the lycopene in there is amazing, and red peppers actually have more vitamin C in them than an orange does. So you're really doing yourself a favor having a red pepper now and then. So we're going to use these ingredients. I'm going to prep them up, and then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do next. Alright, so what we've done here is we've sliced the button mushrooms. We've diced the tomatoes, and we've shredded the carrots. Now here's the difference. With the spinach in this recipe, I julienne cut it, so it's a nice thin cut. But if you're going to use it for the salad, leave it whole and wash the salad, okay? Always wash your lettuce and or spinach. We're using spinach today, okay? I sliced up the red peppers. You'll notice I left the seeds in the tomatoes and in the peppers. I want you to have all the fiber of these vegetables. I do not want you to not have everything that's in the vegetable. When we're talking about eating healthy, we're talking about A vegetables. So A vegetables mean that they were not altered. Once I cook these tomatoes or these mushrooms or these carrots, they become altered and they become a B vegetable. We want to keep them as A's for this recipe and possibly mix A's and B's together, and I'll show you how we're going to do that. Finally, we have our feta cheese, my favorite. No fat, excellent protein enhancement to your food, and you're going to see an incredible change there from switching from regular cheese to feta cheese. Tofu's great too, but I just think feta cheese has a better flavor profile. All right, now what we're going to do today is we're going to make ourselves a wrap. Now this wrap has no gluten and no wheat in it. And there's only 6 carbs in it, which is great. You can find these at your regular grocery store. Don't get the big ones because they're too many calories. This is going to be about 80 calories. So when we make this whole wrap along with the chicken that we're going to be cooking shortly, which is a separate process, we'll be able to make a wrap for under 250 calories, believe it or not. So we're going to go ahead and get that started. When it comes to the salad's going to use the exact same ingredients except for that. And we're also going to throw our chicken on that as well with a great dressing. So, I'm going to move on to cooking the chicken. Now, I'm often asked why I use olive oil. I always use olive oil because it has good fats in it. So I'm going to put probably close to a tablespoon of olive oil in the frying pan. I'm going to show you how to make chicken that's moist, meaty, flavorful, and the only fat it's got is what's in that oil right there. So, let's get started. Okay, here is the chicken. Now what we're going to do is first we're going to dice it up. So the chicken gets nice and diced like this, about a 1-inch piece. Then the next thing we're going to do is season it, and then we're going to place it in the olive oil to sear it. And I'll show you what we're going to do there in just a second. Now I've seasoned this with pepper, kosher salt, and what I love, my New Orleans Cajun Weber seasoning. Now I'm not doing a plug for this, but I can tell you, there's no sodium in this. It's all spices. And the great thing about cooking chicken is if you put some of this on there, it not only gets it a little kick, but it also gives it some flavor with 0 calories.
Okay, now what we're going to do is take our seasoned chicken, which you can see right here, and we're going to just drop it in the pan. Oh, I love that sound. If you want to flip it, you can flip it. But, you know, if you just don't feel comfortable flipping like I do, then you can use a fork. You can use a fork, you can use a knife or a spatula, whatever floats your boat. So we're going to let this saute for a second. Now, I told you how I was going to make this moist. I'm about to show you how I'm going to do that right now. Okay, our chicken is cooking pretty good now. What we're going to do is we're going to do two things to keep it moist. Now, the first thing I did was, as you remember, I cut the chicken, right? So what's happened is the oil's been able to cover all the chicken and not just the outside of a breast. Most people make the mistake of cooking the breast together and think that makes it healthier. Actually, it doesn't. What ends up happening is the chicken gets tough and you cook a lot of its normal nutrients out. You're going to cook the chicken in half the time this way, and you're also going to be able to get flavor in every bite. So now what I'm going to do is show you how I'm going to make that second step that just makes it so mouth-watering, fresh, and delicious. What you're going to need is a pan, like a steam top like this, to put over the chicken in your pan. So you're going to need to do that, because we do need to produce a way of keeping the moisture in. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take a half a cup of water and your favorite barbecue sauce. I like to use BBQ stews because it's got very low sugar in it, and most of the things that are in the ingredients of it are natural. So you're not looking at anything but real tomatoes, real molasses, and all the other good stuff that goes in with the seasoning. There is only, believe it or not, for every 2 tablespoons of barbecue sauce from this bottle, there's only 20 calories. I am going to use 1 tablespoon. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that right now. Okay, so here's my tablespoon. I'm just going to put it in the water, and I'm just going to stir it around in the water like this. Now, very similarly, do they use this kind of recipe to help do pulled pork. And I'm using the same kind of idea without this long smoking process that would make this kind of thing inconvenient. So now I've got my barbecue water right there, what they like to call BBQ au jus, and I'm about to add it to my chicken. Okay, now we're ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and lift the lid, just like so, just a little. And then I'm going to take my barbecue au jus, and I'm just going to go ahead and pour that into my mix. And just move it around a little so I get nice coverage there. And I'm going to let that chicken sit there for approximately, I'm going to say, 2 minutes. Very low heat. Don't keep it high. We just want to steam that goodness into it and put that flavor in the chicken. Now, you have 2 choices with this chicken. You can serve it hot or you can serve it cold, which makes now what I'm about to show you 4 different variations. You can have a hot spinach chicken salad, or you can have a cold spinach chicken salad. You can have a hot spinach wrap, or you can have a cold spinach wrap. The spicy cold chicken spinach wrap is very, very good for lunch. But for dinner, having a hot one is equally wonderful. Let's get moving. A lot of people have a tendency to get rid of this juice and drain it. Don't do that. This is my little trick. You're going to put the chicken in the juice, like so. Now, you have a choice to make a hot meal for yourself right now, or put this in the fridge or freezer and cool this down until it's into a nice cool meat. If you want to put it into the freezer and use it for later, then obviously cook 2 or 3 breasts. This is 2 breasts, but maybe cook 3 or 4 or 5, and now you can put this in the freezer in 4 or 5 separate containers like this and grab this chicken as you need it. This chicken can stay up into the freezer for about 2 weeks. So I can tell you right now that this chicken right here, look at how good that looks, is moist, succulent, and will be that way for the next 2 weeks. So I'm going to cool this down to show you both the ideas of making the cool salad and the cool wrap, but just remember, if you want to make it hot, it's an option. Okay, first what we're going to do is use the wrap. Now, whenever you make a wrap, you want to do something with some flavor. So what I've done is I've chosen 2 things. Either fat-free vegetable cream spread, Philly cheese does a really good one, or my favorite, which is zero fat Greek yogurt. Now, I'm going to use one with each of them so I can show you the difference. This one I'm using the yogurt, and you'll notice that I'm being pretty liberal with it. I took about a tablespoon and a half, and I put the yogurt in the middle. You don't want the yogurt to be too far outside the edge, and I'll show you why that is in just a second. Look at the fact that we have this yogurt on the tortilla. See how easy this is? By the time I finish this, this really would take probably close to about 3 minutes at a piece when you have all this all prepped. You could probably make anywhere between 5 and 10 of these wraps in the space of 15 minutes. I'm going to start off by adding a little bit of carrot and sprinkle it around the inside of that. Then I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of spinach. And again, you can continue to increase or decrease whatever it is you'd like to put on there. I'll put a couple of red peppers in there for some texture. Yeah. And then I'm going to lay my chicken over that. Now I have here some refrigerated chicken. I just threw one in my mouth. It's awesome. And I'm just going to place maybe 4, depending on the size, or 5 little nuggets on the middle like this. Alright, maybe I'm getting a little greedy. Okay, approximately about a half a breast. You're going to take the tortilla and you're going to bring it around the front like so, and then move it in with your fingers like this. Now if I can do this with one hand, you can certainly do it with 2. Then you're going to just continue to make it tighter and tighter like you're rolling a cigarette. Ha ha. And then, there you have it. Your roll-up is complete. Now, if you want to really get technical, you can take a little bit of yogurt. I'm going to use my finger, but you should use a knife. Okay? And put it in like this. And then just seal it like that. And you will find that it will hold perfectly. Now, if you refrigerate that, this will be solid as a rock. And when you cut it the way I'm about to show you, you will have an awesome wrap. Now, I've done this one piece right here. I'm going to show you how to do the other. You want to make sure all the ingredients are pushed in like so, and then just wrap the tortilla like that. And now it kind of looks like a burrito, but you don't want it like that because when we cut it in half, you're going to see why. One of these wonderful little pieces of delicious wraps is going to be approximately 160 calories. Just use a regular knife and cut it in a bias cut. Look at how awesome that looks. Amazing, yeah? And just imagine what the flavor is going to taste like. Now you can also put stuff like salsa in this, provided that salsa is a very low sugar concentrate. Please look for things like concentrated this or concentrated that. You want to have something that's organic, that doesn't have any concentration, and then that way when you put a salsa in there, you're only going to boost it up another 5-10 calories. But this right here is an excellent meal, and it's really good for weight loss, and it's also equally good for fiber intake because you got a lot of fresh vegetables in there that are all good for you. So that is with the yogurt. Let's move on with the one with cream cheese. Same thing as before. I want to keep it away from the sides, and obviously you can see why. Because when we wrap it, it keeps everything together, and you don't see everything falling out. So what this time I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start with my spinach and place that in the middle like so. Then I'm going to put some mushrooms. Yeah, there we go. I love mushrooms. And then I'm going to go ahead and put some tomato. And then after that, I'm going to add a little more of my favorite little cold chicken. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and wrap that. Same thing as before. I'm going to go ahead and really just get that nice and tight in there. Oh, runaway chicken. And then I'm just going to turn it over, like so. And see, I put a little too much chicken in there. But you know what? That's okay. I'm going to accept it. Now I've rolled it up. I'm ready to cut it. Okay, same thing as before. I put a little bit of yogurt there. Keep it nice and glued, tucked in the sides. It's good to go. I'm going to go ahead and cut it right now. And these are so easy to cut. You just take your knife and just slide on. There we go. And now we can go ahead and look at what this one looks like. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There we go. Now you're talking. Okay, so as I told you before, we have some variations. So remember that when we made these wonderful wraps, we used a variation of different kinds of ingredients. Those ingredients right there, you can interchange to whatever you want as your favorite flavor. I saved my feta cheese because I like it on the salad. So, this is what we're going to do. You can take this salad, which is washed spinach, you can place it in a bowl and bathe the bowl in your dressings. I have here a balsamic strawberry vinaigrette. I also have my favorite homemade ginger dressing. I make this with just fresh ginger, olive oil, a little bit of apple cider vinegar, and then I add salt and pepper to taste, and I put crushed tomatoes in it. And I let it sit there overnight. It really comes out great. So I'm going to use that with my salad today. Now here's the yogurt again. Now let me give you an idea of what you can do with this yogurt. Take a tablespoon of this yogurt and mix it with any of your low-calorie or fat-free dressings, and you have turned it into a flavorful ranch. If you really like creamy dressings and really like ranch dressings, go find yourself some zero-fat, Greek yogurt, and I promise you, you won't notice the difference. In fact, it'll taste fresher and more wholesome. So, what I'm going to do with the salad is I'm going to take myself a few red peppers, and I'm going to take myself some mushrooms and put those on the salad. I'm going to take some carrots, nice crunchy carrots, put them around. Don't put too many carrots on your salad. Carrots are the second highest glycemic vegetable, so you don't want to use too much, but it's nice to use a little. Carrots do have a lot of great health traits to them when they're not cooked. I'm adding a lot of tomatoes because I love tomatoes. And again, I could mix this all up in a bowl and then just dump it out in here, or I can do it the way I'm doing it right now. This is my preference, but you might have different. Then I'm going to go ahead and take my feta cheese. I'm just going to sprinkle that. Look at that salad, man. And sprinkle that. And that spinach is approximately, I would say about about 2 cups of spinach. You're looking at about a 1/4 cup of tomatoes. You're looking at about 2 ounces of chopped feta cheese. Chop it up real small so you get flavor everywhere. Looking at about 1 small bell pepper, the small one, so it's about 1.5 ounces. And about 2 tablespoons of carrots. Now, I don't put anything else on here except for, you guessed it, the chicken. Look at how moist that looks. See that? Gorgeous. Put the chicken on the top of the salad. That's about approximately 1 breast. This salad, as I metered out, with 1 breast of chicken, and just as is, and you're welcome to eat it as is, works out to approximately 212 calories. Now, you could go down some calories by taking a little more chicken off the salad, but I think one full chicken breast is a great accompaniment for this salad. Also, I'm going to go ahead, like I said to you before, and use my dressing, which is my tomato ginger dressing. And I'm going to just pour that over my salad and over the chicken. Now, for those of you that can burn more sugar and you'd like to sweeten this up a little, I'd add either a 1/4 cup of chopped apple, or you could also add cranberries. Do not add raisins and do not add any of that other sweeter fruits or dried fruits. They're not good. They won't help you lose weight, and they certainly won't help you keep your caloric counts in line. This salad will fill you up for the day, and now we'll just go ahead and finish up. So in closure, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. an outstanding spinach salad that's just over 200 calories that will fill you up for an entire meal period. And then, of course, our roll-ups of all different varieties from different ingredients I showed you just from a cutting board of 5 different ingredients. And remember, the greener you go, the more healthier you'll be, because green vegetables are naturally more healthy than any other vegetable that's out there. Stay away from corn, stay away from all the colored vegetables, with the exception, of course, of red pepper, as we talked about. But I promise you, eating like this, you will see an immediate result in the first few days of your energy levels, your intakes, your ability to use energy and eat more, and of course burn more calories. The idea here is for you to make these kind of salads for you during the lunchtime and make as many of these roll-ups as you can so that when you're snacking and you're ready to have a quick meal, they're available for you. As I said, refrigerate them and they can last up to 3 to 5 days. Freeze your chicken and you can make meals like this interchangingly, hot, cold, different ingredients for the majority of the week just by spending about an hour and a half taking care of that. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm starving, so I'm going to go ahead and have one of these, and I wish you all healthy eating. Amazing.